They'd say he's worth £2,000.
Wow.
The guest brings in a complex and fascinating multi-tool that dwarfs his own everyday pocket knife. This item is highly impressive, considering it's a masterpiece that showcases the exceptional skills of the Cutlass Company. This particular tool boasts a staggering 48 blades and various other implements, with some models even reaching a mind-boggling 200 blades. While a regular pocket knife is used for daily tasks, this one is a completely different beast. It's more akin to a showpiece, meticulously crafted to demonstrate the company's unparalleled craftsmanship, rather than to be used for everyday tasks. Despite not being intended for heavy use, it showcases the intricate design and flawless manufacturing. Further investigation reveals a maker's mark, indicating it was made by Dodson Sheffield in the late 19th century. This historical detail adds another layer of intrigue to the already impressive item. The estimated value of the piece is staggering.
If this were to go into auction, I can see this easily making £2,000 to £3,000.
Gracious me. That's amazing.
We have here a treasure trove of medals and artifacts, all belonging to the guest's father, David Cargill. Each piece points to the fact that the guest's father was indeed part of the SAS. There's even a photograph of David in uniform, which further provides undeniable proof. A fragment of a parachute, creatively repurposed by David's mother for pajamas, hints at his airborne experience. The certificate is signed by Paddy Mayne. The highly respected SAS commander himself serves as a signed document of David's elite service. The collection goes beyond medals. Badges and insignia, meticulously preserved, tell their own story. The King's Crown Parachute Regiment badge and the shoulder titles specific to the early SAS are near impossible to counterfeit, further solidifying the authenticity of David's service. There is also a photograph that transcends memorabilia. It captures David behind the wheel of an SAS Jeep, a rare and thrilling glimpse into the life of an SAS soldier in action. This image offers a tangible connection to David's bravery and the clandestine nature of his missions, taking into account the medals themselves, imbued with historical significance, and the extraordinary supporting evidence. The collection is estimated to be worth.
Just valuing these medals for you, and we had nothing else on the table, I would say to you that these medals are worth £200. And you would do that for me, because that would be wonderful.
This is the story of a lucky man who found a treasure trove of Winston Churchill memorabilia at a dump. The guest works at a dump and has a habit of collecting interesting antiques he finds. One day, he came across a box filled with various items and over 200 letters. The letters were written by a woman who worked as a cook for Winston Churchill, detailing her daily experiences and insights into the famous wartime leader. Among the items in the box were a signed photo from Churchill to the cook, a cigar. Churchill was known for his love of cigars, a cigar case, and the Churchill top hat. Upon seeing the extensive collection of letters providing a detailed history and provenance for the items, the authenticity of these items were confirmed. The letters corroborated the authenticity of everything, making it clear that these were indeed Churchill's possessions. Considering the historical significance and the unique way they were acquired, the entire collection is valued at.
We think that your box is worth £10,000.
Oh my gosh.
This is a Chippendale slant front desk that the guest inherited from her mother-in-law.
She grew up in Kentucky, and her parents were from Kentucky, and we believe her grandparents were also from Kentucky. And her grandfather was an antiques collector.
Crafted in Rhode Island, the item dates back to 1798. Slant front desks from this period were like the early computers. They served as organizers. It features locked drawers for storing items, inner document drawers, and a gorgeous fan motif. The man who used this desk was left-handed, which is evident from its design.
This gorgeous fan, beautiful late 18th century carving. All this is typical Rhode Island, the blocked center section. Now
the document drawer contains chestnut, typical of Rhode Island production.
Over here on the right side. Well, another reason we know it's Rhode Island is we look inside in this document drawer, and that's chestnut.
Another lovely feature of this piece is the rich, beautiful mahogany wood.
And it ends in this almost like on fire, like a bonfire. Flame mahogany, the richest, most beautiful mahogany you could buy at the time. And amazingly, the sides are also.
The desk retains its original brass hardware and has a unique label inside.
It also has the original brasses. Let's look at the label inside. And this is so rare to have a labeled piece.
Despite having replaced feet and holes that would slightly affect its value, this desk, with its original label and high-quality wood, would be worth.
There'd be a lot of museum interest. I would put an auction estimate on this piece of about $10,000 to $15,000.
Okay.
Today, on the road, we're visiting the Wilton House in Richmond, Virginia. This historic site was visited in March of 1775 by the first President of the United States, George Washington. The first item presented to us is known as wick trimmers. This 18th century artifact was used to cut the wick off of burning candles. Made of steel, its value lies in its historical significance, estimated at.
They do come up for auction quite often, and they don't have a considerable amount of value. The value is around about $300 to $400.
We also have a porcelain basin used for shaving. It features an unusual cutout, which the appraiser explains provides room for the chin while shaving. Originating from Japan and designed with the Imari palette, this piece is worth.
And the value at auction is around about $1,000.
Well, it's beautiful and it's even more valuable to me.
Finally, we have a baby rattle made of silver with some coral on one end, bearing English hallmarks. This rattle is extremely rare, and its market value can be put at.
What's interesting about this is that they are really quite rare, but there are a lot of fakes in the marketplace. A real one would be around about $1,500 at auction.
This guest brought a painting onto the show that had been purchased by her parents at a flea market in Texas. The painting was created by Charles Partridge Adams, a largely self-taught American artist who painted primarily in Colorado, and the work of art is signed and dated 1898. It depicts a Colorado landscape with a bright sky, majestic mountains, and tall trees. There is a small hole in the lower part of the painting, which significantly affects its value.
And do you know anything about this little hole down here that I noticed?
Not really. We figure somebody probably tried to get shot and they missed.
It's coming from Texas. You got a little
like a
bullet hole down there.
Despite this minor damage, the painting would be worth a significant amount at auction.
And my sense of the painting's value is in the range of $10,000 to $15,000.
Oh, really?
Yep, so it's a handsome picture.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you've ever wondered what a fine example of modern furniture design looks like, here it is. The Guest, a remodeling contractor, acquired the chair while working for a psychiatrist who owned it. The chair was designed by Charles Jeanneret Gris, better known as Le Corbusier, a renowned modern architect. Charles Jeanneret Gris, Le Corbusier, born in 1887, collaborated with Charlotte Perriand in 1928 to create tubular, chrome-painted furniture. The chaise lounge exemplifies their design philosophy of making furniture as extensions of the human body.
Just gave it to you.
Just gave it to me.
This chair was designed by someone named Charles Jeanneret Gris.
This particular chair adjusts to different angles for optimal comfort. Covered in pony hide, it juxtaposes an angular ebonized frame with tubular curves. Manufactured by Cassiner in 1968, it bears a label confirming its authenticity. Signed by Le Corbusier, the chair's model number is LC4 with the manufacturer number 1033.
And how it fits the back, the curve of the back, and how it's so functional. This actually slides and adjusts.
This iconic piece of modern design at auction is estimated to be worth.
I put an auction estimate on this of $3,000 to $4,000. But it could do better because it's so iconic.
Literally a unique find of a book. This book on papermaking makes one quite ecstatic. The guest discovered it during a Boy Scout paper drive, recognizing its value immediately. Dard Hunter, a legendary figure in papermaking, published this book in 1923. Dard Hunter. Hunter was known for producing paper, typeface, and printing his works entirely by himself. This copy is one of only 200, signed by Hunter, with a unique personal touch.
This book was published in 1923. His father was a printer. He studied printing under his father. He then went to Europe and he learned how to make paper.
Hunter's contributions to papermaking history are unparalleled, making this book a significant artifact. His expertise extends to various forms of papermaking, including Japanese techniques. This book exemplifies his mastery and dedication to the craft.
It's the first time in the history of book production that had ever been accomplished. So that's another reason why he's such a legend around here and around the world.
Salvaged from becoming pulp, this book in today's market could be worth.
And I would auction estimate this at $5,000 to $7,000.
Wow.
If I was going to insure it, I would insure it for about $10,000, double the low estimate.
This copy of To Kill a Mockingbird has a fascinating provenance. Gifted to the guest by his former fiancée, it holds personal and literary significance. The book is a paperback review copy, issued before the official first edition was published.
There are a few things also about the first edition of To Kill a Mockingbird. It was done in 1960, but on the dust jacket, this is in green in the true first edition. So that's important.
Such copies were sent to reviewers to generate publicity ahead of the book's release. Authored by Harper Lee, it won the Pulitzer Prize and became a cultural icon, especially after the 1962 film adaptation. Harper Lee. This particular copy is notable for its pristine condition, a rare attribute that significantly enhances its value. The publisher's date stamp adds to its authenticity and appeal.
Who comes to sit with me but Nell?
No.
Nell Harper Lee, and we sat on the back porch and talked for...
Condition is paramount in the world of book collecting, especially for 20th century first editions. In this immaculate state, the book's retail value is set at...
In this condition, without the inscription and signature, would probably be $6,000 to $8,000.
Okay.
This pair of intricately beaded pouches are not merely decorative. It embodies a rich tapestry of history and meaning. These pieces have been in the guest's husband's family for generations.
This is a tribe from the Central Plains, just north of the Texas area in Indian Territory, today Kansas, Nebraska.
They are Kiowa Indian beaded pouches, featuring two different types of hide. The base of the pouch is known as a striker light, and the fringe, made from deer hide, is embellished with tin cones.
The beads are European and they're traded to the Indians. Rather wonderful detail on this. On the fringe, there are tin cones.
Such items were traditionally worn on the belts of Native American tribesmen and served to carry various tools. As a testament to Native American craftsmanship, this pair is estimated to be worth...
On a retail market, a collector, I believe, would be very happy to pay about $9,500 for this ensemble.
Yeah.
Paintings often evoke various emotions and memories, but these paintings are particularly special due to their connection to Bob Ross. A group of guests brought in two Bob Ross paintings acquired by their parents in the 1970s. The appraiser, a passionate Bob Ross fan, was emotional upon seeing the works, emphasizing their rarity at auctions. The paintings were created during Ross's time at Eielson Air Force Base before he became famous for the Joy of Painting TV show, started in 1983. The appraiser noted the distinct Alaskan oil painting stamp on the stretchers, confirming their authenticity from the 70s. The Northern Light scenes and a commissioned cabin painting showcased Ross's early style and skill development. The appraiser highlighted the emotional and therapeutic connection people have with Ross's work, contributing to their high market value. The appraiser valued each painting higher than the original $12 and $5 purchases.
Current marketplace, Bob Ross paintings like this would sell in the $15,000 to $25,000 range.
Oh my gosh.
As the appraiser mentioned that the TV series paintings have sold for much higher, with one reaching 6 figures.
Paintings from the TV series sell in a certain range. There was one that recently did $41,000, and the most expensive one that we've heard of was from the very first TV show, and that did 6 figures.
Oh my.
Books are often repositories of knowledge and stories, but this book is a unique historical artifact with profound significance. A guest brought in a fragile law book, originally gifted to his father, and then to him, used by Don Juan Filial in the Louisiana Territory. The appraiser identified it as the Digest of the Civil Law, published in New Orleans in 1803, the same year Thomas Jefferson purchased the territory. The bilingual book, printing laws in English and French, highlighted its historical significance. Don Juan Filial, also known as Jean-Baptiste Filial, was noted for spreading these laws and establishing Fort Miro, now Monroe. Despite its delicate condition, The book's cotton rag paper and historical value were emphasized. The guest explained it was given to his father as a token of appreciation for handling an estate. The appraiser recommended professional conservation to preserve it. Appraiser valued its retail as,
I would put a value at retail of between $2,000 to $3,000 on it.
Right, okay.
and insured for $5,000. The book's rarity and historical importance were highlighted.
For insurance purposes, I would value it $5,000.
Okay, okay.
Because the adage is, find another.
Artworks are often diverse in style and subject matter, but these artworks by Ludwig Bemelmans stand out for their charming illustrations and cultural significance. The guest brought in 2 cherished artworks by Ludwig Bemelmans, gifted by her husband over the years. One is an illustration from Madeline in London, renowned for its vibrant hand-applied colours depicting iconic British landmarks and a double-decker bus. Bemelmans, a German immigrant famous for his Madeline series, was also known for murals and children's illustrations. The second artwork is a sketch for Noodle, a book featuring a dachshund by Munro Leaf, showcasing Bemelmans' affection for the breed. The appraiser noted Bemelmans' estate likely sold these pieces posthumously, evident from their haphazard signings and markings. The Madeline in London illustration, dated 1961, reflects Bemelmans' distinctive style and cultural themes. The Noodle sketch precedes the Madeline series and holds historical significance. Appraiser valued Bemelmans' artwork with the Madeline in London illustration as,
it is a full sketch, wonderful piece. It's probably worth around $12,000 to $15,000.
Whoa!
and the Noodle sketch at auction is valued as,
and it's worth probably around $5,000 at auction. So
really,
you done good.
I am astounded.
This guest brought 2 etchings created by the prominent German artist Kath Kollwitz, whose work spanned from the 1890s to 1942. Kollwitz, a key figure in German Expressionism, infused her art with profound emotions.
The mother and child?
$180.
And for the portrait?
For the portrait, we paid $725.
The first etching, Mother and Child, dates to around 1900 and portrays the touching bond between a mother and her child, and it's valued at.
Our retail value today, I would say, is probably between $500 and $700.
The second etching, a self-portrait from around 1920, stands as a testament to Kollwitz's strength and character. Purchased in 1985, this piece was printed on a sought-after cream Japanese paper and is pencil signed by the artist herself. This exceptional piece reflects both artistic and historical importance and is worth.
Self-portrait, on the other hand, today a retail value for this would be around $12,000 to $18,000.
Wow.
This 1914 Gibson F4 mandolin, accompanied by its original case, belonged to the guest's great-uncle, who was a member of the Detroit Symphony.
She gave it to me. All I know is that my Uncle Byron played in the Detroit Symphony, and he passed away in 1978.
Well, your great-uncle Byron was part of a tremendous trend in mandolins around that time. The mandolin was an extremely popular instrument starting in the late 1880s.
The mandolin, produced during the peak of the instrument's popularity, represents Gibson's most expensive model of the time.
So this is a Gibson F4. It was the most expensive mandolin they made at the time, and it cost around $150 in.
This mandolin features a spruce top stained black, curly maple back and sides, and a mahogany neck which embodies the Art Nouveau design, with matching curls on the body and headstock. It also includes inlaid celluloid tuners made in Germany. The rectangular case is quite unusual for the period, as most mandolins came with smaller shapen cases. Given its condition and provenance, this mandolin would retail for.
In a specialty shop environment, a mandolin like this would probably have a retail value of somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000.
Oh, okay.
This wonderful Marx car and battery-powered dump truck bring back childhood memories.
Received these as Christmas or birthday presents when I was a kid back in Minnesota. This was in the late 30s or early 40s.
Well, of course.
These toys date back to the pre-war era, as production of tin toys stopped in 1941 due to the war. Interestingly, the Marx Roadster, accompanied by a travel trailer, is in exceptional condition. This wind-up toy, a classic of the 1930s, is a testament to Marx's reputation as one of the premier American tin toy makers of the 1920s and 1930s. The Roadster with the trailer at auction would fetch.
I think a conservative auction price for the Roadster with this travel trailer could be about $400 to $600.
Yeah.
Also, the battery-powered dump truck is even more remarkable. Unlike the typical wind-up trucks, this one features a battery compartment for 4 batteries, which powers the lights and motor. In its extraordinary condition, and with the original box, this truck is valued at
Extraordinary condition with the original box. A conservative auction price would be $3,000 to $4,000.
Man alive.
This charming painting once hung in the office of the guest's father, a golf pro in Iceland. Upon leaving Iceland, he received the painting as a parting gift from the board of directors. Accompanying letter, dated 1935, mentions gifts including this painting by a leading Icelandic artist. The artist's name is Jan Stevenson, a prominent figure in landscape painting. Stevenson belonged to a group that championed traditional landscape painting techniques. He studied abroad in Denmark and France, honing his artistic skills. The painting depicts the scenery of Thingvellir, a place of natural beauty in Iceland. A relative visiting from Iceland recognized the painting's significance. In today's market, the painting could potentially fetch.
But I would say if you were to sell this at auction, you might expect to get $30,000 to $60,000.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
These photographs feature Luceria Borri, a Spanish opera star. The guest's husband's great aunt served as her personal secretary throughout her career.
You can see here she's got the earrings in a shorter style, and then here in the much longer version as we see here on the table.
What makes these earrings fascinating is their detachable central parts, allowing for different styles. Dating back to the 18th century, they were crafted based on older designs, but updated over the centuries. Made of gold and garnet, these earrings have tops that were added later, as the original parts were replaced. Each segment is separated by tabs on the back, with engravings that add to their charm. They were designed to be worn in sections due to their weight, providing comfort during carriage rides and events. Their excellent condition is rare, making them a valuable historical find. They could be insured for.
I would say that you would probably want to insure these for anywhere between $8,000 and $10,000.
That's amazing.
The jewelry's current appraisal ranges from $6,500 to $8,500. Displayed on today's show is a sign-in log sheet from a radio program called Request Performance. Our guest purchased the log sheets at a flea market 15 years ago. The show was broadcast by CBS Radio in 1945.
And where'd you come by it?
I actually bought it at a flea market from someone who saved it out of the garbage from being thrown away.
And was a comedy variety show. In the log, we can see the names of various public figures who appeared on the show, along with their comments. It's remarkable how well preserved these sheets are. At auction, being a significant part of American entertainment history, they would be valued at.
We were thinking the autographs alone in this format would be about $4,000.
Okay.
A watch was brought by the guest to the show. It had been a gift from his father upon graduating high school in 1984. The appraiser identified it as a Rolex Explorer 2 model 1655. This model included a 24-hour hand and luminescent features designed for cave explorers. Made in 1984, it still had the original dial, bezel, and hands, which substantially increased its value. Despite being worn extensively, the watch was in pristine condition. The particular model and its condition made it highly collectible. The appraiser noted that having the original box and papers would have added extra value. Given its desirability, the suggested value was
probably sell on the retail level for somewhere between $12,000 to $14,000.
Really? Wow,
Correct.
that's amazing.
Here is a collection of items affiliated with Richard Nixon. This letter, penned by Richard Nixon in 1975, was directed to the guest's father to express gratitude to the guest's father for his insightful comments regarding his leadership. The value of this letter is estimated at,
and this would have a value of about, at auction, $1,200 to $1,800.
Okay.
Included in the collection is an autographed menu from Don Julio restaurant in Miami, showcasing Nixon's favorite dishes. In an auction, this item could command.
This signature, again, a lovely signature, about $500.
Okay.
Furthermore, there is a brochure signed by John Kennedy and George Smothers at a presidential dinner held in Florida in 1962. This signed brochure is appraised at.
The signatures alone are valuable, but together on this document would be about $5,000 to $7,000.
The guest presented a hat that had belonged to a friend, Mr. Bayliss, who had provided costumes for John Wayne. The appraiser examined the hat, along with 2 framed pieces that corroborated its provenance. One framed piece was a photo inscribed by Michael Wayne, John Wayne's son. The inscription established a tangible connection between Michael Wayne, Mr. Bayliss, and the guest. The second framed piece was a cartoon crafted by John Vaught, an artist for Walter Lantz. The hat's authenticity was definitely proven by the label inside the hat that read Wayne No. 1. An additional label indicated that the hat had been made by Nudies, a renowned Hollywood costume maker of that era. Given these details and the established provenance, the appraiser estimated the hat's value to be.
I wouldn't hesitate to estimate the hat anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000.
Asian artworks are renowned for their intricate designs and historical significance, but this particular piece is exceptionally fascinating. A guest brought in an item purchased at an estate auction in Winchester, Virginia, where they paid $60 for it. The guest had guessed the item was of Japanese origin. The appraiser found the item interesting because it featured Chinese designs, but was actually Korean, dating back to the 11th or 12th century during the Koryo dynasty. The guest was surprised to learn about its ancient origin and that it was buried as a food offering for the afterlife. The appraiser noted the item's bronze material, steep-sided rounded shape, and authentic green patina, indicating age and authenticity. The patina resulted from the interactions of minerals, water, and acids in the soil over centuries, likely unearthed in Korea in the 1920s. The item's value was estimated at.
The value for the entire group has got to be somewhere between about $1,500 and $2,000.
Oh, that's great.
So that's a pretty good find, too.
That is good. Very good.
If you're captivated by the allure of Hollywood's golden era, this collection is a treasure trove. The guest assembled these autographed photos of movie directors while in grad school between 1974 and 1981. His journey began with Fritz Lang, the legendary director of Metropolis. Fritz Lang. Lang's personalized response ignited a passion for collecting autographs from 428 directors.
I just began to write them one after another.
So the thrill of the fact that this famous director who did Metropolis, one of these groundbreaking films.
The collection also includes other notable figures, such as Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin. Bound in 5 binders, these autographs highlight a unique niche, often overlooked in favor of actors. The guest also has 60 autographs of famous actors from the silent to sound eras. This collection of some of Hollywood's most famous directors at a conservative auction would fetch.
It's kind of mind-boggling. I think a very conservative auction estimate for the whole collection would be at least $30,000 to $40,000.
Well, that's great.
The timeless elegance of vintage jewelry can never stop being appreciated or adored. The guest inherited these exquisite pieces from a beloved aunt. Among the treasures is a stunning engagement ring, reset for daily wear, featuring a 2.5 carat diamond.
I never expected this collection, so this was, needless to say, a pleasant surprise.
A big surprise, I'm sure.
There's also a sapphire and diamond band from the late 50s to early 60s, with a total weight of about 1.25 carats. The guest's favorite piece is a diamond ring with baguettes and roundstones, totaling approximately 6 carats. A dazzling diamond cluster ring from the late 60s or early 70s boasts 10 carats of various cuts.
This is probably from the late 40s, early 1950s.
Oh, wow, okay.
The highlight is a necklace with square round and baguette diamonds, estimated at 30 carats, dating from the mid-1950s. Collectively, these fine pieces of antique jewelry are appraised at.
In total, we have roughly between $80,000 and $100,000.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
This iconic sports photograph will leave you in awe. the guest acquired this poignant image of Babe Ruth at an auction. Babe Ruth, taken during Ruth's farewell speech at the Yankee Stadium on June 13, 1948. This photo captures a deeply emotional moment.
Taken from behind. We've seen that image. This is obviously from another angle, and it's a very, very poignant image.
This photograph is a vintage wire photo, a type of press photo that has become highly collectible. The image was taken by a photographer named Nat Fane, known for his iconic shots of Babe Ruth. Nat Fane, the gravely ill Babe Ruth, who would pass away 2 months later, adds to the poignancy of the photograph. This particular angle offers a rare and touching perspective, different from the more famous shots. At auction, this remarkable photograph would be valued at.
At auction, a photograph like this would bring at least $300 to $400. Wow.
Baseball cards are cherished pieces of sports history, often collected for their nostalgic and monetary value. But these baseball cards are a treasure trove of 1950s Hall of Famers. A guest shared a story about receiving a collection of baseball cards from a close family friend, Ron, a philosophy professor and lifelong friend. Ron, who had no children, took a special interest in the guest's son, a huge baseball fan, and gifted him several hundred cards from his own childhood collection. The guest carefully selected cards he recognized as featuring influential players. The appraiser reviewed the selection, highlighting cards of 1950s Hall of Famers like Sandy Koufax, Ted Williams, Yogi Berra, Roberto Clementine, and Hank Aaron. Despite missing a Mickey Mantle card, the collection included valuable rookie cards of Hank Aaron and Sandy Koufax. The appraiser emphasized the importance of card condition, noting that most were in lower condition grades, averaging 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. The appraiser valued the selected cards at auction as
tattoos. Okay. At auction, these that we selected, and you have more, but we selected just these, are worth $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
with Hank Aaron's rookie cards each worth as
These 3 in particular, Hank Aaron's rookie cards, can each sell in this condition for around $800.
Okay.
The appraiser mentioned the value of a Roberto Clementine card as
Clemente card in perfect condition is a $15,000 card.
Oh, wow.
If it's a perfect card.
I see.
This item is quite a durable and high-quality clock. It is called a cuckoo clock, and it has a mechanical bird that produces a sound. This clock represents one of the early technological innovations. Despite the appraiser thinking that this clock is working, the clock seems to have a mind of its own. A close look at the clock reveals the beautiful craftsmanship.
But this is rather nicer, isn't it? It's a nice clock. Is it working? I mean, is the cuckoo doing its thing? Yes.
The clock is truly an invention of creativity. At an auction, how much do you think this clock would retail for? This guest inherited a collection of baskets from his great-great-grandfather. These antique baskets were woven on Nantucket Island around the early 20th century. One of the baskets on display features wooden staves with copper inside, crafted from oak and hickory. We can expect this piece to accrue a price of.
This is a nice, clean, simple basket worth about $1,500.
Another beautifully woven basket, made in the 1930s, shows poplar on the bottom, although its handles are missing. This piece is estimated to be worth.
Because the handles are broken, this is about $500. It would be $1,500.
Furthermore, another basket, also with poplar on the bottom, has its handle intact. At auction, this well-crafted basket would command a price of.
Yeah, and that affects value about $1,500 because of the damage. It would be $2,500.
There's also a simple basket on display. With the reeds in good shape, this piece would fetch a price of.
This, nice and early, very tight, is about $2,000 to $2,500.
We also have a basket made with rattan, known as the friendship basket. In this good condition, this basket would be valued at.
Because of its rarity, because of its condition, would be worth in the range at auction of $6,000 to $8,000.
We have 3 diamond rings that all look alike, but they are in fact very different in terms of price.
I'm going to have a little look, ask our visitors here, and then all will be revealed.
Based on appearance, we want to see who can tell which is which. There is a basic ring, which is worth the least, a better ring, which is worth more than the basic ring, and finally, the best ring, which is worth the most of the 3. They all look ravishing and quite exquisite. so anyone would associate them with luxury. Can you tell which one of these rings is worth the most? This belongs to his grandmother. The bust is signed on the back at the lower part of the neck by the artist Angel Botello. Botello served as a cartographer during the Spanish Civil War. Angel Botello was a prolific artist, exceeding in painting, printmaking, and sculpture. One of his notable works is this bronze bust titled Cabeza, which means head in English. The Cabeza bust showcases Botello's talent for capturing human likeness and emotion. Bronze, a copper-tin alloy, is prized for its strength and developing a warm patina over time, gleamed with unparalleled artistic value. The appraiser valued the item.
If I was putting an insurance value on this bronze bust, I would give an insurance value of $20,000.
Banners are not just pieces of fabric, they are threads connecting us to history. The guest showcased a political banner, a family heirloom from his great-great-grandmother, Sophronia Lincoln Angel. She belonged to the Lincoln family, related to Abraham Lincoln through a different branch. The appraiser said the banner is from the 1844 election between James K. Polk and Henry Clay. Polk wanted to add the Oregon Territory and Texas, while Clay opposed slavery and expansion. This election was important and had big issues like slavery and manifest destiny. The banner reads Polk and Democracy against Clay and Aristocracy, echoing Andrew Jackson's populist message. Polk used Jackson's popularity for his campaign. Sophronia Lincoln Angel made the banner, showcasing her interest in politics. It's made of cotton muslin with iron handles and her hand-painted slogans. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
I would put this at auction between $5,000 and $7,000.
Oh, great, great.
The excitement of an auction can lead to incredible finds. In 1982, during a rainy and cold afternoon auction, the guest noticed a valuable oriental rug among some blankets. She bid for this rug and was able to acquire this piece. The rug, which is presented today, is a late 19th century kuba woven in the Caucasus region of southwestern Russia.
The rug that we have here is a late 19th century kuba, and it's a rug that was woven in the Caucasus, which is a mountainous region in southwestern Russia.
Its vibrant colors and intricate design reflect a weaving tradition dating back to the 17th century. Synthetic dyes used in the late 19th century.
And that helps us date it to the late 19th century. And you'll notice that the colors have faded on the front.
Front colors softly faded over time. After cleaning and minor restoration, this beautiful example of a village rug could be worth.
And doing a little bit of minor restoration, it would sell for between $3,000 and $3,500.
That's very nice.
Discovering a hidden gem at a garage sale can be thrilling. Some years back, the guest stumbled upon a small pitch-black table covered in mold at a yard sale and acquired it. This unassuming piece turned out to be a federal inlay mahogany demi-lune card table by the renowned cabinet makers John and Thomas Seymour, showcasing exquisite craftsmanship. The table features figured mahogany, egg and dart inlays, and delicate sandwood bow knots. John and Thomas Seymour were known for their superior quality furniture, often created for Boston's wealthiest families in the late 18th century.
Boston.
In Boston, which is where they work.
No Massachusetts.
And it's a little bit deteriorated, but you can still read it.
Yes.
And that's just extraordinary because it's so rare to find label pieces.
Yes.
To preserve its original patina and charm, the guest has cleaned the table with linseed oil and turpentine.
This table, everything about it, even if it didn't have the label, says John and Thomas Seymour. The quality is incredible of it. It has this wonderful figured mahogany.
Remarkably, the table still bears the original label of John Seymour and Son, a rare and valuable find. In today's market, this exceptional piece of furniture is estimated to be worth,
In the open marketplace, on a good day, would be in the range of about $200,000 to $225,000.
Wow.
Finding a perfect oak table for a large family can be quite a challenge. This led to these guests acquiring this table set, including 6 chairs, 6 leaves, and a buffet from their neighbor in 1958 or 59. Years later, after a tropical storm damaged the table, the guests discovered it was made by the famous Gustav Stickley during refinishing. Gustav Stickley. Stickley was an American furniture manufacturer, designing leader, publisher, and a leading voice in the American arts and crafts movement. His mark, als ik kan, meaning to be as best as you can, was found on the set. The simple, straightforward design and handcrafted copperwork on the sideboard are hallmarks of Stickley's craftsmanship.
Well, let's look and see what he discovered on this set when he started to refinish it, which was the mark, the maker's mark.
The chairs, with their subtle V-shaped crests, are particularly valuable and would be worth.
The chairs could bring at auction $1,500 to $2,000 a piece. So we've got 6 of them.
The dining room table, a testament to its exceptional design and historical significance,
The dining room
is valued
table
at.
itself is probably about a $3,000 table.
The sideboard, quite impressive, showcasing the exquisite artistry and timeless appeal of Stickley's work, would sell for.
And the sideboard is in the $6,000 to $8,000 range were we to estimate them at auction. So we've got a good group here.
We certainly do.
This is a magnificent set of church silver that has been brought on the show. We can notice that the set is quite appealing thanks to the silver from which it was made. Despite the fact that this set was presented to a church, the most interesting part of it is that it was linked to the United States' first president, George Washington. This set was made in 1684, which is over 200 years ago, and yet it still shines so brightly.
Within the church, there is this memorial, yes, and that is the Washington Memorial.
And even more special because of the connection with the Washington family, and that also makes it quite rare, because we don't often see items from the 1600s. At an auction, this appealing Washington family set of church silver would retail at the price of.
But I'm really sure, I'm comfortable that this would fetch well over £100,000.
Wow. This could be the dream item to add to a boat racer's collection. It is an Oxford boat race oar that was used to steer a boat through the water. This particular oar is a piece of history because it belongs to Oxford College. It was used by the 1938 Oxford boat race team, and it contains their names engraved on it. One of the important names there is that of a man named Henry M. Young, who belonged to the Dambusters crew of the Royal Air Force. Henry Young was a folk hero who was involved in certain activities coordinated by the British government.
Now let's take this a bit further. Henry Melville Young, born 1915. He was recruited to join 617, the Dambuster Squadron.
Because this oar is an important part of Young's history, it would auction at.
And therefore, it's going to be somewhere between £200 and £500.
No.
Yes.
At a yard sale, a guest stumbles upon this object with her husband, which sparks a playful debate about its purpose. The woman, with an eye for floral arrangements, leans towards a bouquet holder, while the husband, perhaps inspired by the item's cupped shape, envisions it as a shot glass. After careful examination, it is revealed that the object is indeed a bouquet holder, a charming accessory used by unmarried women in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Unlike their modern counterparts, designed for elaborate floral displays, these nosegays served a more practical purpose. Held close to the nose, they functioned as portable perfume dispensers of sorts. In an era where sanctioned standards were far from what we're accustomed to today, these nosegays offered a fragrant escape from unpleasant odors that permeated everyday life. This particular nosegay holder boasts a unique built-in stand, a clever design feature that sets it apart from more common versions. Most nosegays were designed to be held in the hand, but this one offered the convenience of being displayed on a tabletop or mantelpiece when not in use. The guest, having scored this little piece of Russian silver for a mere $5, is left speechless when she's told the value of this piece at auction.
$1,000 and maybe perhaps $1,500.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
This is a piece of the guest's family silver, a beautiful serving shovel with a repousse pattern. This exquisite piece, crafted in London between 1862 and 1863, serves as a window into the world of Victorian silverware. The repousse technique, characterized by a raised design hammered out from the back of the metal, creates a captivating three-dimensional effect. This particular pattern, with its intricate details and swirling motifs, is a testament to the exceptional craftsmanship of the era. On close investigation, there are different components of a potentially bigger set: grape shears, sugar sifters, and a nutcracker. A glimpse of matching knives, forks, and spoons hints at the beauty of the complete set. At auction, this singular serving shovel holds a value of
entire set, the approximately 50 pieces at home, I would put a value of them of approximately $10,000. That'd be a good auction price.
That's great.
It's a famous model from the memorial to William Shakespeare in Westminster Abbey, and the original Shakespeare memorial was put there in 1740. It was modelled by William Kent. Wedgwood began making reproductions in the Victorian years, and this was probably new in the early part of the 20th century. At auction, this would fetch.
This was probably new in the early part of the 20th century. I think $800 to $1,200 is the right auction estimate.